Hello, everyone. We put this video together to help explain what the warning lights of your vehicle mean and what to do about them. We hope that is helpful for new drivers and for anyone that's looking for general insight as to what to do when the warning lights in their car turn on. So these are the things we'll talk about. We'll talk about these warning lights. What do they mean and what should you do? Talk about your oil pressure light, overheating, battery light, check engine light, tire pressure light, ABS light, the maintenance light. We'll also touch on maintenance requirements, most specifically oil changes and tire rotations. There are some intermediate skills that we're not going to cover in this video, but we would encourage people to become proficient in those areas. For example, we're not going to talk about how to check your engine oil level, how to add oil, how to check and inflate your tires, how to jumpstart your vehicle, and how to change a tire. We're not going to cover these, but we do recommend that you become familiar with how to do this for your vehicle. There's lots of great content on YouTube where there's videos specific to any number of vehicles. Lots of great content out there, but we're just not going to cover it in this video. So first thing we're going to talk about is the oil pressure light. So oil pressure light is almost always going to look like this little oil can, a little drip hanging off it. So when your oil pressure light comes on, what does that mean? This light comes on when there's not enough oil pressure to properly lubricate your engine. And this is almost always because there's not enough oil in the engine. Now, running your engine with low oil pressure can be really bad for your engine, causing thousands of dollars of damage. When this light first comes on, it's usually the result of something that's relatively simple. The engine needs to have oil added to it, but if you continue to run it when the oil light is on, that can become very expensive and can cause thousands of dollars of damage. So if this oil light comes on, what should you do about it? Pull over as soon as you safely can do so. Check your oil level, add oil if necessary. Don't continue driving your vehicle if the oil pressure light is on. Do recommend calling a tow truck if necessary. Some common misconceptions about this oil pressure light. Just because you aren't due for an oil change doesn't mean that you have enough oil in the engine. This is very different than your reminder that you're due for an oil change. This is completely different than that. Don't get the two of them confused. Between oil changes, you can lose oil. Oil can leak out. You want to watch out for any wet or dark spots under where you normally park your car. You want to pay attention to any unusual burning smells. You may have an oil leak, and that oil, when it leaks out of the engine, it may be running across a hot metal surface, in which case it may burn off before it can drip onto the ground. So you'll never see it on the ground, but you may get a burning smell. You want to pay attention to that and get that checked out. Every engine does burn some oil. It goes out the exhaust pipe, and you may never notice it. If your car leaks or burns enough oil between oil changes, you can run out of oil and destroy your engine. So learn how to check and top off your oil if necessary. There's lots of great content on YouTube. Lots of folks are showing you how to check the oil and add oil if you need to. Well, that brings us to the question is, how frequently do I have to check or top off my oil? And again, that depends on your vehicle. My first car leaked and burned a lot of oil. I had to add oil every other time I filled the gas tank. The car I drive now hardly ever needs to have oil added. So we recommend that you become familiar with your car's habits. When you first get your car, check the oil frequently. And as you do so, you'll get a sense for how frequently oil needs to be added, and that you can adjust how frequently you check your oil based on that. If your car doesn't use very much oil, you don't have to check it as frequently as in a situation where your car uses more oil than that. It needs to be topped off on a regular basis. I do want to stress this. Maintaining your oil level is one of the most important things that you can do for your vehicle. How do I check the oil level of my car? And if the oil level is low, how do I add oil? You have a couple of options for that. There's lots of videos on YouTube that can show you how to do that. If you're not comfortable with that, stop by and we're happy to show you how to do it. It's a very simple process. It's something that you do well to understand and know how to do. This is an extremely important warning light to pay attention to. Failing to do so can cause thousands of dollars in damage in a very short time. So when that light comes on, pay attention and pull over safely. Pull over as soon as you safely can do so. All right, the next light is the battery light. The battery light's going to almost always look something like this here, like you see in the picture. What does that mean? Your car's electrical system has two main parts. It has a battery, and just like any other battery, this stores electrical energy to power the electrical systems of your vehicle. Your vehicle also has an alternator. That alternator keeps your battery fully charged. The battery warning light will usually come on when one or both those components, the battery or the alternator, are not working properly. Well, what should you do when that battery light comes on? If your battery or alternator are not working properly, this can cause your vehicle to shut off unexpectedly. When your vehicle shuts off, steering and braking will require extra effort and can result in a scary situation and possibly loss of control. Safest thing to do, pull over as soon as you safely can and get the vehicle towed to a repair shop to get that condition checked out. The next condition we're going to talk about is overheating. So what is overheating? Engines generate a tremendous amount of heat and have a coolant system to keep the engine temperature in a safe range. If that system malfunctions, the engine can get hot enough to damage the internal parts of the engine, which can result in thousands of dollars in damage. So how do you know if your car is overheating? Every car is different, but most cars will have at least one of the following indicators. You'll have a temperature gauge that climbs to the H or the red range, like you see here. You may have a warning light, like you see here, or there may be a message on the instrument panel or the dashboard that indicates that the engine is overheating. Some other symptoms you may experience: you may have steam coming from under the hood, or you may have a strong burning smell. If you have any of those indications, then you want to pay attention to that. So what does overheating mean? Overheating indicates your engine is operating at a dangerous temperature and you risk damage if you don't shut off the engine and allow it to cool off. If you encounter an overheating situation, what should you do? Pull over as soon as you safely can do so. Turn off the engine and allow the engine to cool off. Do not continue driving if the engine is overheating. Call a tow truck if necessary. Don't, and this is something I want to stress, this can be dangerous. Do not try to add coolant or do anything with your coolant system when the engine is hot. You can get serious burns or injury as a result of opening up the coolant system when the engine's hot. Next, we're going to talk about is the check engine light. What does that mean when your check engine light comes on? Well, you get this little symbol here. It looks like the profile of an engine. It may or may not say check, like this one has the check, this one does not. But your check engine light indicates that your car's computer has determined that some component or system is not operating properly. Again, when this light comes on, what should you do about it? Well, that depends, and let's take you through a couple scenarios. Now, this light may be on solid or it may be flashing. So if the light is on solid and it's not flashing, and does your car feel like it's running normally? If it does, you can continue driving, but get this checked out at your earliest opportunity. Stop by during business hours, and we're happy to retrieve the trouble codes and advise you as to the severity and the urgency of the problem. In a different situation, this check engine light may be flashing. It may not be on solid, but it may be flashing on and off. If the check engine light is flashing, this usually indicates a more serious problem that may be causing additional damage if you keep driving. If the check engine light is flashing on and off, we recommend you stop driving the vehicle to avoid further damage and get that problem checked out as soon as you can. The next warning light we're going to talk about is a tire pressure light. Most tire pressure warning lights look something like this. Profile of a tire with an exclamation point in the middle. When that light comes on, what does it mean? Well, it depends. And what should you do about it? Well, first thing we recommend, turn off your car, restart it, and watch what the warning light does. Does it flash for a couple minutes, then go solid? Or does it light up solid as soon as you start your car? If the light flashes for a couple minutes, then lights up solid, what this means is, well, most vehicles have a tire pressure sensor in each tire. This condition, when the light flashes and goes solid, indicates that at least one of the sensors is not working properly and will need to be replaced. When that happens, your car doesn't know what the tire pressure is in that tire that has a sensor that's not working properly. So if the light is flashing, what should you do? Check your tire pressure. We're happy to do that for you if you don't know how, or if you don't have the equipment to do so. As long as your tire pressure is okay, you can keep driving until you have a chance to get that sensor checked or replaced. In the other situation, if that light turns on solid, if your tire pressure light turns on solid when you start the car, this means that the air pressure in at least one of your tires is not set properly. Usually this means that the pressure is too low, but it can also happen if the pressure is too high. What to do about it? Well, check your tire pressure. We're happy to do that for you if you don't know how, or if you don't have the equipment to do so. As long as your tire pressure is not too low, you can drive to a place where you can add air to your tires. So when should you stop driving if the tire pressure light is on? Well, this is an area where you need to be able to apply some judgment. If your tire pressure is too low or a tire's flat, you should stop driving. For example, here we got a picture of a flat tire. Obviously, you need to stop driving immediately if you have that situation. This tire, it's bulging on the sides. It's indicating that it's underinflated. That's probably too low to continue driving on. You do want to add air so you avoid the possibility of losing control or damaging the tire in that situation. Some signs that tire pressure is too low or you have a flat tire can include unusual noises or vibration, maybe pulling to one side. If you have questions, pull over and get help. A flat tire can cause you to lose control of the vehicle. The next warning light we're going to talk about is the ABS light. So what does it mean when the ABS light comes on? Now, the ABS warning light indicates that some portion of your anti-lock brake system is not working properly. The ABS system is an important safety feature of your vehicle. If the ABS warning light comes on, schedule an appointment to have that system diagnosed and repaired. The next warning light we'll talk about is the maintenance light. You may have on some vehicles, it may be just kind of abbreviated message like this. On other vehicles, you may have, it may be spelled out more specifically, and there may be some more information that goes along with that maintenance reminder. So when that light comes on, what does it mean? Usually, the maintenance light indicates that your car is due for an oil change, but it can indicate that other maintenance services are due to be performed. When this comes on, schedule an appointment to have the required maintenance services performed. So what maintenance does your vehicle require? A couple basic things, or several basic things that we would recommend. Number one, keep an eye on your engine oil level between oil changes. We recommend performing regular oil changes. We recommend oil changes every 5,000 miles using a high quality synthetic motor oil. We do recommend tire rotations with every oil change. This is something that helps extend the life of your tires. Check your owner's manual for any other maintenance requirements. And a competent repair shop will make you aware of any other required maintenance services, whether it's air filters, spark plugs, fluid exchange, etc. But we do advise you to be careful. Some repair shops will recommend services or repairs that are not really required. So when considering what repair shop to use for your vehicle, there's lots of repair shops. Why should you choose a Riscony Garage? Well, we do serve the Utica, New York area. So if you need service for your vehicle, it can be tires, brakes, funny noises, pretty much any of your auto repair needs. That's something that we can help you with. We do encourage you to read our reviews, see what our customers are saying about their experiences. And we do encourage you to stop by and say hi, even if your vehicle doesn't require service or repair. Come on in and say hi, meet the team. We do want you to feel comfortable when you bring your car in for service. And we want you to feel comfortable in calling us or stopping by to ask questions, even if your vehicle doesn't need any service at the moment. Just if you have general questions of anything about your vehicle that we can help you with. I do appreciate your time and your attention. If you have any questions, please reach out to us. We know that you have many choices to have your vehicle serviced, and we'd appreciate the opportunity to earn your business.